Hello everyone and welcome back to another review. It's been quite some time since I did a review of a movie, but here I am finally getting to my review of Captain Marvel. Now it's been a little while since I've actually seen the movie, and I've put off this review for a little while, not because of my opinions on the movie, but just because other things have gotten in the way. But here we are finally doing it. Endgame has come out at the time of recording this video, and also at the time of recording this video I have not seen it, so doing this quick little review before we get to Endgame, which will probably be a lot longer. So, Captain Marvel is the 21st movie in the MCU, the first female-led movie, and is also a prequel to most of the movies, maybe, besides the first Avenger. Now, this movie is actually very controversial, in the movie Marvel Cinematic Universe community. A lot of people hate this movie, and there are some people that like this movie. I fall somewhere in the middle. I think this movie is about as average as you can get. It's such an incredibly average filler movie that it's not bad, but there's nothing memorable. The soundtrack is pretty forgettable. The villain, pretty forgettable as well. While, the villain wasn't actually terrible in this movie. Talos and Jan Rog, they were the villains. I mean, it was mostly Jan Rog. I'm getting into spoilers in case you haven't seen the review. I talk about spoilers in every review I do. Jude Law as Jan Rog was actually good, but I don't think he really did a whole lot in the role. I don't think he had a lot to do where I was like, oh, he's definitely the best villain. And like I mentioned, Talos, I don't know, I'm just gonna call him Talos. The Skrull, who's originally the villain, but then it's revealed that the Skrulls are actually good guys. Now I'm actually, I'm perfectly fine with them changing it up from the comics, but without this, there's a lot of iconic things that you can't do because now the Skrulls aren't evil. Unless, maybe later down the line they'll just do this explanation where this group of Skrulls are evil, but at the moment it kind of, destroys the chances of a secret invasion storyline in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. A lot of people hate Brie Larson and hate this movie a lot for it. I didn't really think she was that bad. It was mostly the stuff she was given that was bad. Her performance was, there was actually times where I actually quite liked her. I mean, she's not my favorite superhero. Not my favorite superhero in the movies either, but she wasn't all bad, but she did have some pretty meh dialogue. There's one point where she just says, "Your blood is blue," and she says it just like that. I'm like, wow, really? That's very observant of you. A lot of people also hate this movie for spreading feminist propaganda, and while there is a little bit of, the feminism stuff in there, it's really not hammered down as much as people say. Problem with this movie, however, is the pacing. The first act of the movie happens so quickly, and things just come at you at light speed without any explanation. When the movie started, I had no idea what was happening. It starts off in this kind of flashback thing, you're not really sure what's going on, and then you have Carol Danvers, she's on the planet, whatever the Kree planet's called, and then it just keeps going. I thought it was going to explain something in the past. I thought they were going to do, more of her backstory first, but they do reveal it towards the end, which I guess makes sense because she has memory loss in the movie, but it just happens so quickly that even if, you didn't have the mysterious backstory part, the stuff that she's doing currently isn't making any sense because nothing is being explained. Another problem with the movie is the way Nick Fury loses his eye. Yes, Nick Fury's in this movie. I haven't really talked about him a whole lot because he doesn't really play a huge role. Like, he's in it a decent amount, but he's not the most important character, but the way he loses his eye just bothers me so much. So Captain Marvel's cat, what is it called? Goose? That's a really quirky name. Basically, Nick Fury loses his eye because Goose the cat scratches it and they play it for a comedic effect. Which, if you've seen The Winter Soldier, doesn't make any sense because in that, Nick Fury holds a picture where he's older and bald and stuff, and he actually has his eye. But in this, he's younger and has lost his eye. And it's also for comedic effect, unlike the Winter Soldier, where it was like, I lost my eye last time I trust someone, or whatever it was. But, you know, Marvel likes to do this. It's basically the equivalent of the Mandarin twist in Iron Man 3, where the Mandarin isn't actually the Mandarin, he's just an actor. It's as bad as that. And I may just be, like, missing something here, but the Tesseract is in this movie, and I'm not really sure the whole timeline of it, because I thought the Tesseract was with Captain America when he crashed the ship, which is why at the start of the Avengers, you know, Nick Fury has the Tesseract, but in this, which is set in the 90s, Nick Fury knows what the Tesseract is, and it was actually Marvel who had the Tesseract, so I might just be missing something, but that didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. And if, you know, if it doesn't make sense, then that's a huge continuity error, and something you don't want to make right before your biggest movie of all. So overall, what did I think of Captain Marvel? It's kind of a short, not so in-depth review, because there's really not a whole lot to talk about. Like I said, to summarize the whole movie, it's just average. It's as average as you can get. There's nothing really memorable. There's nothing that I don't love it. I don't hate it. There are parts that I hate, but there aren't any parts that I love. So I'm probably gonna give it my score of okay. It's definitely not as, you know, it doesn't deserve all the controversy that it's getting. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy this review of Captain Marvel and you are hyped for Avengers Endgame, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.